Hi everyone, in today's video we are going to be talking about video marketing in real estate. And for those of you who don't know who we are Seamount Media. We're the video team for the Fitzpatrick team Remax, and they are the #1 Remax team in the state of Rhode Island. So like I said, we're going to jump into video marketing in real estate. And Sam, can you explain why it's important, why businesses should care about video marketing?
Well, obviously the online landscape is flooded with video. Like if you're not doing video content nowadays, you're just simply not going to survive. So you kind of have to, play the game a little bit of social media. You have to be uploading video content in order to be relevant. Like if you're just doing photo posts or just reaching out with text, it's not going to be as effective. The other element of it is that it kind of brings like a little bit of a personal touch to your business. This is how you can kind of, elevate your brand, bring that personality into it, and, excel that way. So it's very, very, very important with all of the social media and technology that we have going on.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that especially now in 2023, I almost said 2022, just video is taking over. Photos, like stills, are kind of a thing of the past. Do they still work and do they still serve a purpose? Yes. It's more niche down what their purpose is really for, though. And I think video is much more broadly used and can be used in much more cases at this point effectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would argue that videos overall, why they're taking off so much is that they're more interesting.
Like, they are, for sure.
When you're just looking at a static image, something that's not moving, or text, and you're just reading, it's not as interesting.
It's more of a quick glance, like, okay, yeah, it looks nice, but you quickly just move on. With a video, it's longer than a second, so it forces you almost to watch the full thing and be engaged, whereas a photo, you can easily just see it once for a second and move on.
Yeah. And another thing to that is when you're engaged for a longer time, you're spending more time. If you're a business owner and you're on video, you're spending more time with that prospective customer. So you kind of almost have an extended period of time to, pitch your sale to them. Whereas if it's just like a photo thing and you're scrolling by, you're no longer top of mind anymore. And that moment passes super quickly. So with video, you're staying there a little bit longer.
All right, I guess let's move into kind of niche it down a little. Let's go to video marketing specifically for real estate. So we've been working with the Fitzpatrick team for a couple of years at this point, and I think we've grown with them, and we are very knowledgeable in what is considered effective video marketing in the real estate world. Can you kind of talk about what are some of the main types of videos that we tend to create here?
Yeah. So with real estate, there's actually a lot of types of videos that you can create. The most popular, the thing that most people probably know, is your traditional property walkthrough video. This is literally just
listing video.
Yeah, the listing video. Literally just a tour of the house so that you can get a lay of the land. People going back to, photo versus video, stuff like that, people can, get sort of a sense of the space with just listing photos, but once you throw a listing video into the mix, it really feels like you're walking through the house, and generally that gives a prospective buyer, more of a picture, no pun intended, of what the house is actually like. So you should be doing listing photos and a listing video every single property, no matter the price. Another type of video that we film a lot is educational videos. These primarily go on YouTube, and they're tailored to, prospective buyers and sellers. Just gives them a baseline of general knowledge, what they need to know about buying or selling a house. So sometimes we'll film a video that runs through the home buying process. Sometimes we'll, film a video that runs through the different types of loan options that are available to you. So making educational videos are very valuable in real estate, because if you're providing value to a prospective customer, that will kind of ensure success for your video marketing. You're building your reputation, you're giving them free value, and it'll make a customer more likely to convert.
Yeah, no, I think with the educational content, when you show off your knowledge, it establishes yourself more in the space as an industry leader, proving to your industry and your area that you know what you're talking about. And with that proven knowledge, yes, they're more likely to hire you.
Yeah. And you could like most real estate agents will know all of these things and they'll be able to communicate that to their customers, but only once they're in an in-person meeting. Whereas if you can incorporate all of that education into your, video marketing, they already know you can tell them all that. So when it comes to that in-person meeting, your prospective customer already has a baseline of knowledge. Moving on to another type of video that we do for them, the Fitzpatrick team does a lot of community events.
They do.
And
they're really fun.
yeah, community events kind of are dual purpose. So forget the video for a second. Community events just show that you're involved in your community, you care about the local people and local causes. And then when you turn that into a video, you can market to a larger audience that didn't get to go to the event. So you're kind of just establishing yourself as the local guru, the local people, if you're going to these community events and you're, expressing your interest for different causes.
So yeah, a phrase that we like to use is the sphere of influence. And basically with these community events, it just helps with like showing off a good brand image and building that reputation in your community. When you build that trust with the community, AKA the potential clients that you're going to be having, it increases significantly the chance of all of them trusting you to sell or buy a house with them or with you.
Right. And I would say it's important for agents not to just go after any and all cause for a local community event. Like go after something you actually believe in.
Right. Yeah.
Like I remember we did a fundraiser last year with the Fitzpatrick team. It was for the Potter League. A lot of the agents here have dogs and animals, and so they actually really care about that. And we were able to make a good video because they had a good, showing at the event. These are things that they actually care about. You shouldn't be just showing up to an event just to show up and like, oh, this will look good for my image.
Right, because people will see right through that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you need to make sure it's an event that you genuinely care about, and when it's genuine, everyone will be able to tell. But if you're faking it and you're just trying to show up to an event just to try and get that brand exposure, it's going to be pretty clear of your true intentions.
Exactly.
But I think the Fitzpatrick team does a fantastic job at hand-picking what community events that they support, and every single one of them that we go to is a huge success.
Right. Moving on to another type of video. Well, I guess this kind of is a lot of types of videos moved into one category. We just like to call it the creative category. And this is where we can experiment and try things. So the first example for me that comes to mind is we recently were creating videos for a new campaign for the Fitzpatrick team that was talking about a no commitment listing. So basically the premise of the no commitment listing is that you can list your property. There's no contract. If you want to pull it off because you're not satisfied for any reason, you have the freedom to do just that. So what we did is we worked with marketing director Marielle to create a series of short, funny commercials that were a bit out there. So it was like, for example, it was committed to your relationship status, not your realtor, or committed to running, not your realtor, stuff like that. And so we basically got to play around with this very funny format of video. And what I would say to other realtors is if you're going to make some sort of creative video, this is where you really have the opportunity to showcase your brand personality. So
right.
The Fitzpatrick team is very fun, high energy, and we were able to showcase that in these creative videos.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think moving on to, I guess, my personal favorite, it's YouTube. And I've discussed this a lot with Marielle in the past, but I think that if you were to ask me, what type of video marketing a real estate agent or real estate team should do, my answer will always be YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm just a firm advocate for YouTube being a strong lead generation source. If done properly, you can easily produce all of, if not most, of your leads from YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah. That kind of comes from the question. It's like, where do you put your videos? Like everybody knows you need to do videos, but where do you put them? YouTube is one of those platforms. Instagram's the other one. Mm-hmm. But what I will say is if you're creating video content, you need to make it native to whatever platform you're putting it on.
Right.
So
it is not a one size fits all. You have to make almost duplicates. If you want to use the same topic, you need to make a YouTube version, you need to make an Instagram version, and they are totally separate things.
Yeah. So like what kinds of things would you recommend a real estate agent should be putting on YouTube?
For YouTube, it sounds like I said this before, it sounds contradictory, but non-real estate specific topics. So instead of, showcasing your listing video on YouTube, that's not going to do anything. No one's really going to watch it there. Like, you need the people to see your listing video, you send that directly or on the MLS, wherever. But for YouTube, you need to be making video content that is directed towards your region, your area, like the neighborhoods the areas you're trying to do work in. Topics like, things to do in your neighborhood, places to eat, because those are the things that the home buyers will care about. They're not going to move to a location without, vetting it first, making sure that it's a place that they actually want to live. So if there's nothing that they like doing, no hobbies that they enjoy in that area, they're not going to move there. If there's bad restaurants, bad food, they're not going to live there. So showcasing, what that area has to offer is what I would think is the most important thing about YouTube, and kind of just building off that. There's endless video ideas that you can make around those types of things, like top 5 XYZ. And it's endless.
The other thing with what you were saying about YouTube is you have to focus on searchability. So like you were saying, is people who are looking to move to your area are searching these things. YouTube is the second biggest search engine next to Google. And ironically, Google owns YouTube.
Right.
And those kind of intertwine. So if you're searching something on Google, chances are
your YouTube video will pop up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So YouTube is our personal favorite lead generation source for real estate, just because of that simple fact of searchability. Like when you're looking to move somewhere, the first place you are going to go is Google. You are going to Google what it's like living there. And if your YouTube videos pop up, you're going to be the first real estate agent that they associate themselves with.
Exactly. And the views honestly don't even matter that much. You're not, with a real estate agent, real estate team, you're not doing YouTube to quote unquote become a YouTuber. YouTubers are the full-time YouTubers, make their money off of YouTube. That's not your goal if you're a real estate agent. Your goal is not subscribers per se, but your goal is the views, but you don't need a ton of views. So if you get maybe 100 views on your video, just think about that for a second, because 100 views is not a lot in terms of YouTube, but 100 views is 100 additional eyes on you, on your work, on your potential property that you didn't have before. So that's 100 people that could potentially hire you that would have otherwise never even knew you existed.
Yeah, exactly. If you're getting views, it's about the quality of the views.
Right.
The quality of the views is, are they people who actually care about what you're saying, or are they people who just happen to stumble across your YouTube channel through recommended? The people who are looking for the content that you're making, those are going to be the higher quality views. And when you take this approach for real estate, you're going to tend to have higher quality views, if that makes sense to anybody out there. Switching platforms for a second, Instagram. Now, something that we hear our marketing directors say a lot is that social media doesn't necessarily sell real estate, but it sells the agent. I agree with that. I think that most people aren't going to buy a house from Instagram.
No.
You can probably get a few leads from there. I've seen people get leads from Instagram, but that's because you can reach a lot of people probably easier than YouTube. You can reach a larger audience with the Instagram Reels algorithm, given those people aren't searching for your videos like they are on YouTube.
Exactly. So that's what the quality of view comes into play. So the viewers on Instagram are, I guess for lack of better words, lesser quality than those on YouTube, because Instagram viewers aren't viewing it with the intent to look for that topic.
You're just in the middle of a scroll.
Right.
So that's where that comes from. But if you come up a lot for that one person who is scrolling, you'll be in there, like they'll be in your sphere of influence now. So you got to use both together. You can't pick one or the other. that's just the way to do it. And when you're creating content for Instagram, you need to be focused on short, punchy, straight to the point content. And when you're talking video on YouTube versus Instagram, YouTube, you want to make sure you're filming horizontal because that's native to the platform. Instagram, you want to be vertical because that's native to the platform. Don't try to cross use them on each. You can use some vertical content on YouTube Shorts, but that's a topic for a later day. Types of things you can probably put on Instagram. If you want to highlight a listing, you can, take vertical clips of the, best parts.
Right. And that's something that we do a lot, especially for the higher end luxury listings. We go out and we film vertically to kind of accommodate for the social media platforms so we can make these highlighting Instagram reels while still, using that same content. We have the normal horizontal listing video, but we go back, film vertically, and turn it into a handful of reels.
And the last thing I'll say about Instagram versus YouTube is that, YouTube is more regarded as an evergreen platform. So when you post a video on there, the intent is that it will be viewed for weeks, months, even years to come.
Yeah, years.
Whereas when you post something on Instagram, it's just there. It's just relevant for a little bit. So the types of things we tend to have, being directed towards Instagram are those community event things because those are time sensitive. We have, some of the property clips like we were talking about. We also have market update videos, things that are more time sensitive. Sometimes you can get away with posting market update videos to YouTube as kind of like a value-based educational content, but we kind of target those to Instagram or anything that you're sending as a direct touch to a client. Those are kind of the things we focus on Instagram. And the last place that we put videos, is those direct touch, something that you're sending directly to a prospect or a client. So it could be talking about a digital buyer consult, a consult for selling a house or a market update, or, it could even be as simple as a thank you message. We create video content for that as well. So YouTube, Instagram, direct touch, those are the three main places where we place our video marketing content.
All right. And lastly, for those of you who are, looking to start investing more into video marketing because everyone knows how important it is. So for those of you who are just getting started, be prepared to invest in your creative team, whether it be just a videographer, whether it be a photographer, separate people, full in-house team, whatever it may be, just be prepared to invest in them because it is definitely worth it. And when you have a professional level quality, it definitely sets you apart from all of your competition. Like people will know your videos, whether it be your listing videos or your social media videos, they will just know it's you based on the quality.
Right. Yeah. And like a lot of things nowadays can be shot on a phone. You can start it with your phone. The problem with that is everybody has an iPhone.
Exactly. So it all look the same.
It will all look the same.
It'll look decent. It'll look good because phones are pretty good. But if everyone's doing it, how are you different?
Exactly. And now I think this especially comes into play if you're listing luxury properties. You absolutely need some high quality video content. If you don't, you will look like an amateur. That's just the way it is. You need to have good videos, good photos, especially if you're listing luxury. But I think it should go across the board, not just luxury. You should be prepared to invest, be prepared to pay these people to create good content for you. And that's how you will get successful video marketing. So that pretty much wraps up our talk on video marketing for now. If you want to learn a little bit more about video marketing, whether it's real estate or other industries, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram @CMount Media. And, we share a bunch of knowledge on the world of video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Fitzpatrick team down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video and comment if you have any future suggestions. And we'll see you in the next one. Or we won't. Somebody else will, but somebody will see you in the next video.